You lost a lot of weight doing a low carb diet and now you've hit a plateau. And someone just told you that in order for you to lose the next bit of weight, you have to eat more carbs. And that's freaking you out because you lost the weight initially by eating low carb. So how can eating more carbs help you lose the next bit of weight? If that messes with your head, you're actually quite normal. I'm Trish. I've been coaching for 18 years and I see this happen over and over. People lose a lot of weight, they hit a plateau, they get to a point where they actually need to change what they're doing, and it messes with their head because they think that whatever helped them lose the weight is the thing they need to do more of to get the last bit off. But it's actually the complete opposite. If you start a diet, and it could be any diet, it could be low carb, it could be low fat, whatever, you start this diet around the same time that you make other changes. So you maybe start going to the gym more regularly, you start strength training, maybe you just, for whatever reason, you're now more active. It comes with the mindset of, now I'm going to do something about it. So what happens is you lose a lot of weight and you're never really quite sure which particular thing you were doing helped you lose the weight. So you fixate on something that you think it was, such as low carb. Now the issue is, when you go all the way back to that point where you flipped the switch or you had a turning point or something happened, you at that point had no record of what you were doing up to that point. So what specifically were you doing to put the weight on? Perhaps you had a sedentary job, like an office job, buying your lunch every day, snacking at night, alcohol on weekends. There would have been a bunch of different things that you were doing that were causing you to put the weight on. And then when you went on your health journey, you started doing less of those things, or maybe stopped doing them altogether. So you'll fixate on something small such as low carb and think that that's the thing that helped you get all the weight off, when really it was a collection of things. So the issue is, you've got to this point now where you've lost a lot of weight and you're terrified to go back to that place. You do not want to go back to that place. So what you don't want to do is any of the things that caused you to put the weight on, including eating carbohydrates. Now what's happened though is you are at a point where you actually need to start flipping your thinking around and have an intermediate to an advanced mindset. So a beginner will start going to the gym more regularly. They'll start meal prepping. They'll start maybe playing a sport. They're more active. They're eating less junk food, maybe partying less on the weekend, found new hobbies, things that are healthy. Those are all things that beginners need to do, and that's going to get most people fairly healthy. So if that's where you're at now, what happens next is you actually need to start changing what you do and building a body that burns more calories throughout the day. So right up till this point, what you've done is eaten low enough calories that you are going to lose body fat. The issue is, it's like throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks, right? You just moved more and ate less and you lost weight. But everyone gets to this point where the next step requires not weight loss, but body recomposition. I'm going to flap on a lot in these videos about body recomposition, because this is the point where everyone gets to, where you want to lose the last 5 to 10 kilos and or put muscle on. You actually have to start doing the opposite, because now you need to start increasing the amount of muscle you have inside your body. So you can't do that if you're still focused only on weight loss, because that's just eat less calories than you burn. But as we get older, the amount of calories we burn throughout the day actually reduces, unless we're building muscle anyway. So we're doing this to stay young, and because it's good for us, but also it's the thing that makes us eventually look our best as well. So in order to build muscle, unfortunately, we need to eat carbohydrates. And why is that? Well, because carbohydrate is your body's preferred source of energy. So you'll know this too. If you've ever done low carb, the first thing that happens is your memory gets worse, cranky, tired, lethargic, and that's because you are putting less energy in your body. Less carbohydrates, less energy. So your brain's gone, I'm not getting as much energy as I normally do, so I'm going to slow down. Now, the issue is you'll have a fixation in your head that low carb is what helps you lose the weight. So you don't want to put any in because you don't want to put fat on. But to put muscle on, you're going to need some. Now, high energy carbohydrates are basically carbohydrates that get into your bloodstream really fast and provide a lot of energy really quickly. So if we start at the very top, that's why we've got things like glucose, which is basically just sugar. Cornflakes and Special K are right at the top. So 100 grams of cornflakes or Special K is around 360 calories, which is pretty high considering something like that is not going to make you feel very full. If I go right to the bottom of the list, low energy carbohydrates, we've got all of our fruits and vegetables there. So if we look at something like silver beet or bok choy, 100 grams of silver beet or bok choy is going to give you like 12 or 13 calories. That's like nothing. So if a vegetable is a carbohydrate, that means that we could eat bucket loads of fruits and vegetables and still be eating pretty much no calories at all. They're going to help us feel full. They're going to give us a small amount of energy. They're going to reduce cravings, and they're going to help us start to build muscle. Potatoes. For 100 grams of potatoes, we're looking at around about 77 calories. Sweet potato, around about 75 calories. 100 grams of sweet potato is a pretty decent serving. Yep. Bananas, if we have 100 grams worth of banana, that's only 60 calories. So the calorie content is still extremely low. But these are the type of carbohydrates that make you feel full. You have to chew through them. They're very high in fiber and they give you fullness and satiety. So if anyone has told you to eat more carbohydrates, it might freak you out because you automatically go to things like bread or Special K or things that are highly processed, and they may have been things that you used to overeat back before you started losing the weight. So my suggestion is, if you do know that you need to put some carbohydrates into your diet but you're scared to do it, start with the lowest ones first. Bananas, sweet potato, normal potato, 100 grams a day. That's it. If you have a fear of something, the worst thing you can do is just go balls to the wall and try and do everything. Just make one very small change. Let me know in the comments if this stuff did freak you out in the past. Oh yeah, and I've got a challenge starting soon. School.com/Trishy. If you know you need to start building muscle and you want me in your corner to help you start eating more carbohydrates, you should join my crew.